Yo, what's going on, boys? I had a video to upload today, but somebody called me on WhatsApp in the middle of it, and I'm not editing that shit. I'll do it later. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about how you know I've struggled a lot with uh goals and stuff. Like for example, this is very like shameful to me, and this is something that I'm very like ashamed of. But in 2022, I started hitting the gym. I did a bad bulk. I did a bad bulk until like 2023, like the end of 2023. So basically, I did like a 1 year and a half bulk, and this bulk consisted of just um, literally just looking at the scale and seeing if it's going up. That was really my metric. Like, yeah, I was adding weight in the gym, tracking reps, but I did it completely wrong. Um, but anyway, so at around the beginning of 2024, I'm like at 184 pounds, and I started at 163. Uh, and basically, I wanted to cut. Like, okay, it's time to cut. Like, I realized that I've gained too much body fat. Now it's time to cut. Well, it's 2026 now, and now I'm cutting. And the reason why that is because I just didn't have it in me to like not eat. I literally just I was like, so like this was something that I never thought I would struggle with. But yeah, I was like eating because I don't know, like anxious for school or whatever, like feelings eating type shit, which is just so fucking that's just so uh gay of me to do. But yeah, I mean, it's taking me all the way up until 2026 to like to actually get some sort of progress on the cut. And it's really hard to do that if sort of if people talk about discipline or motivation or like willpower they say, but I think the most important thing is not allowing your will to be sort of diminished or like uprooted by the fact that you just keep failing, you know. I think that's the key behind, people always talk about how, oh, like failing is how you succeed. You got to fail a bunch of times and then and those are lessons that you learn. But I think that what gets you through that is your like actual will in like a spiritual way, not even in will in terms of like, oh, I'm going to do this and I have it in me to do it. I want to do this. Like, no, I'm talking about something like that dream is still there, that goal is still there. And even though you have done things to sort of sabotage yourself, as long as you have that will in you, that sort of like, hey, listen, you know what? Yeah, we've done a lot of backwards progress. Like we fucked up, but I can still do it. Like, you can always go again. You can always run it again. You know, that's the thing, because what's going to end up happening is that, if you really want this is just going to continue to haunt you. I don't know how you could give up on something that you want to do. You're just kind of postponing. I mean, you're kind of just, that's like a wound that you need to heal up. You need to bandage that, and the bandage is actually getting there. You know, and it's especially tough whenever you make progress. You've made some progress, but then you fell off of the progress, right? Not a lot of people talk about that. And people talk about how to get started, how to um how to get started, how to like stay consistent, but nobody talks about how hard it is to see yourself. Like I saw myself being able to lose weight from one like I don't know, I was like a 180 pounds. The first thing I did before the gym was lose weight. I went from 180 to 163. I had a lot of reasons back then to get into the gym, so I guess that kind of carried me on like now. I still have reasons, but they're not as potent like on an emotional level as they used to be. Um, but yeah, I saw myself lose weight from 180. to 163, like 160. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I bulked up. I fucked up the bulk. It happens, you know. Uh, natural natural hypertrophy is a YouTuber that I watch, and he also fucked up his first bulk. First bulk. Um, yeah, it seems like a common trend. You got, I guess it's kind of like a canon event for anybody that starts the gym. But you know, seeing that and then seeing how much I struggled to go to start cutting, especially like the fact that I went up to 184, tried to cut. I was failing. I was getting up to like 190, and then I was getting down to 182, and then back up again because I just I just couldn't control my own mouth, you know. And then after that, dude, I made it all the way to 209. Uh, uh, like unintentionally. I get my brain shuts down sometimes and I can't talk. But yeah, I made it all the way to 209. No bulk. Like I could say, oh no, I just kept going with the bulk. No, dude. I went from 184 to 209 pounds from like 2024 to 2026. Uh, and that was kind of it. Like that just happened. I just ate a bunch. I was going out with friends. I wasn't moderating myself. My brain, well, not by well, yeah, my brain, because I think the brain and the spirit are separate. Like my brain would find ways to justify this. I would be like, oh, I mean, you know, I can just do extra cardio tomorrow, or like, oh, I like one thing that would happen to me, dude. I would see that I'm losing weight and I would see that I'm making progress, and for some reason, I would just interpret that as, oh, I can have a big meal now, or like, oh, I can have like a chill day now where I just eat whatever, and that was just never my mindset, and just seeing that lack. It's kind of like looking back now, just looking at that and looking at myself and seeing how much I like betrayed myself. That's like that cuts deep. That is a different kind of, it's not even a matter of like, oh man, I keep saying I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I never go. I keep saying I'm gonna get in shape and then I never go, or I keep saying I'm gonna diet and I don't diet. Like this is something that where like I did not struggle with this, and now I'm literally like failing. You know, I'm just literally hitting the floor with my face, literally. Like, damn, how that is much more, a much more. It'll make, you know, your will waver. That'll impact you like that, because you're just seeing your enemy clearly, and it's yourself. Like the enemy is you, and that's, it's a man can only take so much betrayal, and especially from yourself, you know. But no matter what, is kind of like what I noticed with me. No matter what, there was never a moment where my brain even considered the idea of just, hey, you know what, this isn't this is like I'm just banging my head against the wall. I'm not meant to lose weight, or I actually look good at this weight, or anything like that. Like I failed myself, but I didn't abandon myself. And I think that's the key right there. You know, it's not over till it's over. You know, it's only over when you're dead, right? You can always run it again. And yeah, sure, like there's time, and eventually you're gonna get old, and certain things you can't do at certain ages. Like, you know, you're not gonna be able to go to a college party at, I don't know, at like 45, probably, I guess, right? Certain things have a level of timeline, but when it comes to these sort of things of like a dream, or I don't know, maybe a place you want to go to, a certain amount of money you want to make, as long as your brain never, as long as you never allow your brain to reach deep to the point where it's like, hey, maybe I can't do this, maybe I can't, maybe this is not meant for me. You know, I always whenever I would see this, I would never go to that. I would always be like, shit, okay, let me see what I can do here. Let me establish some sort of protocol. I did some research on like how to maybe handle this better, how to go about this. I I ended up reaching a point where I'm like, hey, listen, I have a failing strategy here. What I'm like, my thought was, hey, I can still go out with friends. I just need to like not order as much food, and certainly, maybe you could say that it's a lack of discipline, but I ended up saying to myself, hey, listen, clearly you can't, you know, control yourself. Like once you're around, like around people and in the restaurant, you end up eating too much, right? I'm gonna talk about this later. Like I'm gonna talk about how, yeah, you can be motivated, or I mean, not motivated. You can be disciplined, but at some point, you have to recognize that you have a failing strategy. I think I need to write that down. I need to make a video on that. But in terms of your will, just never, only like the only thing you should be thinking is how can I approach this problem differently, and how can I, I keep failing at this. I'm failing. It sucks. I hate failing, but never ever allow yourself to think about how maybe it's not meant for me, or I'm just not good enough for this. uh Never allow yourself to get into that kind of conversation, right? Like it's always remember you're always going to be in the game, right? It's only over when it's over. So just stay at it. You're going to feel your will waver a little bit, um but you can't allow your own mind to defeat yourself. You got to remember that you have a relationship with your future self, right? Like you care about what your mom thinks about you, you care about what your girlfriend thinks about you, you care about what your friends think about you, but what about what your future self is going to think about you? Think about how right now you're looking back at your past self and you're like, damn, I hate this guy. He ate a bunch and now I'm fat. Or he skipped gym sessions and now I don't have the body that I wish I could have by now, even though I had the time to to get that body, but he didn't. Like my past self didn't, right? Do you want your future self to look back at you like, you know what, bro? Thank you so much. I know how deep you were in, like in terms of mentally, how exhausted you were, and you still pulled through for me. I appreciate that. That's your future self talking to you. Like just picture that in your mind and just don't allow uh your will to be diminished. Like that fire in you, you got to make sure that you're always giving it, you know wood, so that it stays lit and it stays bright. And that's really all you need, right? You do need action, but the whole thing only dies when your will gives in, right? You need the action to accomplish that will, or so that will is satisfied. The will you have to do whatever you want to do, but just make sure that never goes away. The only time you should be in like, oh shit, is when you feel your will going away, when you feel yourself being like, it's not for me, man. Or I just can't lose weight. I have like a genetic thing that doesn't make me lose weight. Don't like, as soon as you start hearing that kind of talk, that's like a red like an that's a red, well, like warning, like an alert that you should really be worried about this. Like that's not the kind of shatter that the kind of conversations that you should be having with yourself. Your conversations should always be about planning, about how to get through it. Okay. But yeah, man. All right. I'm gonna I'm gonna see what I upload tomorrow. See ya.